Hi, everybody. Judy Tuttle here with Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm excited to be with you today for another edition of Online Class to Go. Today, we're using a fall themed class with some beautiful cards made from the Caring Leaves and the Autumn Leaves bundles, stamp sets and bundles from the current offering in the online store. And I hope you love these cards as much as I do. I spend a lot of time thinking about how to create for you guys. And, I think you've noticed by now that I have a very simple style. I hope I have a style that you can feel confident when you get home recreating these cards on your own, or just watching me and making them on your own. And so that's what it's all about. I just love having you all here to watch me create and be a part of my stamping community. So thanks to all of you for coming here and watching me every Monday at 12 noon. So here we go. I had a beautiful weekend. Tell me in the comments when you get here and tell me maybe what you did last weekend. As you guys know, I had a niece who got married last weekend. She met a man in Dublin, Ireland, and this last weekend they got married in Dublin, Texas, which was super sweet. My husband, who is a minister, got to perform the ceremony, and we got to spend time with family, and there's just nothing better than that. Nothing at all. Not even stamping is better than that. Spending time with family to me is my heart and soul. So anyway, I am excited to show you some things that I will be making with you today. But would you give me just a minute to talk to you about some things that are coming up on the horizon here? So, first of all, you know that I'm having a breast cancer fundraiser right now. It's ongoing right now. Every kit that is sold at $10 will go to breast cancer research with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. And I would like to sell lots of kits. So there's a little example of a card there on the screen. But I want to show you some other cards that I have created recently. So let me switch to my hands here, and so here's some of the cards that I've made that we will be making together. You can always buy a kit and make your cards your own way, but I do really love the cards that I have designed as well, and I hope you do. Here's a little sweet hello card. So you will get 10 envelopes and cards. These are the more bright feminine cards, and then we'll have another set that is more masculine, not or anybody cards, right? So this is just a sneak peek. I just want to show you how adorable these cards are, how much fun we'll have making them together. This is obviously the non-stamping kit. There will also be a stamping kit, and in the stamping kit you also get a stamp set, and let me show you that really quick. This one right here will come with the stamping kit, and there will be different cards for you to make that you can use the stamps on. So I'm excited about this fundraiser. It means a lot to me for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because a lot of people near and dear to my heart have gone through a breast cancer journey and are currently battling breast cancer, and I want to be a support to them in any way possible that I can be. So that I want to just throw that out there. The next thing is that, hang on, let me get the right here. There's a No Place Like Home Faith Encouragement Sampler Card Class coming up. It will be on October the 16th, or you can get it to go. We'll make this beautiful 10 by 10 sampler that you can frame, display, give away as a gift, whatever you want. And then we'll also, I just want to give you a little sneak peek at some of the cards that you will be making as well. So beautiful. I think you guys are going to love this class. And so registration is open for this right now. I'll make sure that I put the registration link up in the description, as well as the breast cancer fundraiser registration link as well. Okay. And then let me get rid of all of these things and keep going. Why am I keep going back and forth here? Let's see. Let's get rid of that. There we go. I'm just added today the Seasons of Elegance Mega Card class. This is fourth in the Christmas card series. It will be at the end of October. I'm thinking it's Friday, October 26th. But the registration link, as well as more information, will be in my newsletter tomorrow. So if you would like to be a part of my newsletter and get all the information about upcoming events, I will be sure to put that link in the description after this video is over. All right. Okay. So next thing is that if your name is Susan Lunsmark, I hope I said that right, Lunsmark, you won my cards from last week's Facebook Live. And somebody recently asked, like, how do you win your cards? You win the cards by making comments, being a part of my stamping community, sharing out my videos. Any of those things will get your name in the hat to be a, trying to figure out why this is not zooming in and out for me. I don't know why. So, okay, well, we're just going to have to deal with this right now. So when you get on, be sure to tell me who you are and where you're from. But anyway, Susan Lunsmark, you won these cards from last week. These were the Potions and Spells cards, and thank you to all of you who placed an order to get this class to go. I will be working on those kits this afternoon. Hi, Melinda Blevins from West Virginia. So nice to have you here. Are you anywhere near Hurricane, West Virginia? Because one of my dear friends is hometown is Hurricane, West Virginia. So it's spelt like hurricane, but they pronounce it Hurricane. So anyway, here is one of the cards that Susan won. Here's the other one. Remember, all of these were fun folds of some kind. So that was the second card. And this is the third card that was won by Susan Lunsmark. So Susan, if you're out there, PM me your address and I will get these in the mail to you this week. Okay? All right. So today we're going to be using a couple of things for our cards. There's a stamp set. Here it is in the 1.5 hours away from Hurricane. That's great. Nice to have you here, Melinda. I'm glad you're with us. Caring Leaves is the name of the stamp set. This is in the holiday catalog. It's a very easy to overlook stamp set, but I'm going to show you the beauty of it here in just a second. I think it's $17, so very reasonable. And we're going to use this stamp set on all of our cards today. Now, this stamp set only has two sentiments in it, which is fine. I just wanted to add a couple of more sentiments that had a fall theme. So we're also bringing in the Autumn Leaf stamp set. This was a stamp set that was in the catalog last year, and it is now in the online store. So you can also look for that. This has some beautiful leaf images as well, but I'm mostly using this just for the sentiments that I wanted to add to our cards today. Okay. In addition, I am using some of the papers from the Splendid Autumn 6x6 paper pack. This is a gorgeous paper pack. So on the front side are these hand-painted kind of autumn images. These are actually painted by the concept artist at Stampin' Up. And they paint them on canvas and make sure the color's all right to match Stampin' Up! Colors and shrink them down into 6x6s so that we can make some beautiful cards with them. Look at this one. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that's called Queen Anne's Lace, if I'm not mistaken. So, so pretty. We're using this one today, but you wouldn't know it because we're just using this little part of it right here. But I think you're going to love that card. Here's one of a beautiful sunrise or sunset, one or the other. All of the back sides of these, you can tell, are more solid color images that just will blend and mix and match. I love the purples in this chrysanthemum page. Another beautiful with the trees and the autumn colors. I think that is what I miss the most about Lincoln in autumn is just the changing of the leaves that we don't have here in Midland. So pretty. Here's another landscape. Beautiful. This one is one of my favorites. I'm going to have to, I didn't craft with this one today because I'm focusing on leaves, but I'm going to do another class here in the near future called the Splendid Autumn class, and I will be using that paper, I promise. Look at this one, so pretty. Do you guys love this paper? I think it's been very popular. So many beautiful autumn cards that you can make with this paper. Okay, so we're going to be using some of the images from that today on two of our cards, so I wanted to point that out to you. Let me move my stamp sets out of the way here. All right, so where do we begin? These are the 4 colors that we're going to be using today on our cards, only these 4. I don't know why I cannot get my screen to zoom in here. It feels like it's locked or something, but oh, there we go. I just figured it out. Okay, so we'll be using Crushed Curry, Blackberry Bliss, Cajun Craze, and Early Espresso. Aren't those fun fall colors? I love that. And then I brought in some dies. I want to show you those. Of course, I use the Stylish Shapes dies on almost every card I make, I feel like. I brought in the Countryside Corners dies. This little smallest label right here I'm using today. And then this is called the Greetings for All Seasons, all tags. And this is new. It's in the holiday catalog, Greetings from All Seasons. And it comes with 2 stamp sets. This is in the online store. I should say it's in the online store. There's a sentiment set that is all Christmas sentiments, and then there's also a everyday sentiment set that coordinates with that as well. So I'm using some of those dies. So when I mention that, you'll know what I'm talking about. Okay, so let's start with our first. Now, if you're new to me, and Melinda, I don't know if you're new to me or not, but you can get a card kit with any order in my online store of $35 or more, and this is where you can find my online store at the TuddleUpShop.com. And I have a host code going on right now, UD6AN7GC. If you place an order in my online store and use the host code, I will send you a kit to make 2 each of these cards. I cannot stamp images for you, and you need to have your own stamp sets, okay? So just something to keep in mind. But you could easily get these 2 stamp sets for about $35, and then you would be set and ready to go to make these cards on your own at home, okay? So this card is one that I made for a swap that I was in. And everybody who saw it's like, oh, man, I didn't even notice that stamp set in the catalog, but that is so, so pretty. And this is the inside. This is a super easy card to make. I do super easy cards when I'm doing swaps because I need to make a lot of them, right? And so I need to make sure that it's not taking me forever. So here we go. We're starting with a card base that is 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. Okay, then I cut, I'm going to put those vanilla pieces there off to the side in a second. I cut another piece of Mossy Meadow, 4 by 5 1/4, and I embossed it with the Changing Leaves embossing folder. You guys have seen me use this a couple of times now. And so look at that beautiful detailed leaf design. Isn't that so pretty? This is part of the Changing Leaves bundle in the holiday catalog. So it is beautiful. It might be in the online store. I can't remember right this second, but it might be in the online store. But this is a hybrid embossing folder. So not only does it emboss, but it also comes with a die set that cuts out these embossed images, which is super pretty. But for today, I only embossed it. So I am going to grab my Seal Plus, and when I have an embossed piece, I prefer to put my Seal Plus right on the card front here instead of on the embossed folder, because when you emboss a piece of paper, it breaks down the fibers in it and makes it easy for it to tear. So we don't want to tear our embossed piece. So I'm going to put that right on my card front right there. That's already beautiful, isn't it? Okay. Then I'm going to pull out these 2 vanilla pieces. You're going to need 3 pieces of vanilla. You're going to need one that is 4 by 5 1/4. You need one that is 2.5 by 4 1/4. That's this one right here. And you need one small piece to make a label. And I made this label out of that smallest center die from the Countryside Corner. So this came from this die right here. Okay. All right. So what I did with this very vanilla panel is that I stamped some leaves on it. So I need my fat, chunky, curvy leaf here and my Cajun Craze paper. And what I did is you want to give a very subtle look to these leaves. So you're going to stamp it, stamp off, and then stamp it onto your, that gives a little more subtle look. That's very dark, right? There are times for that, but this time we're going to stamp off. I'm going to put another one right here. There we go. And one more. Stamp off. I'm going to put right here in this corner. So I'm just turning them different directions, making them look kind of like fall leaves falling. And then I'm going to grab my detail of the stems and outline, and I'm going to ink it up full strength, and I'm going to stamp right over, and I'm going to have to put my head in the camera here. I'm sorry. And because these are photopolymer and I can see through them, it's going to create the outline of those leaves. Isn't that cool? Okay, let me do one more here. So who's all out there right now? I see that lots of people are watching, but I only see Melinda's comment. So remember, comments mean that you get your name in the hat for the cards that I'm making today that I will give away next week. So there's the Cajun Craze leaves. So I'm going to put my Cajun Craze away, and I'm going to bring out my crushed curry. Hi, Dina. Donna, I'm sorry. I said Dina. Donna. Hi, Donna. Thanks for coming again. I love when you're here. Okay. So, hang on. Having a little stamp on the block issue here. I cleaned the stamp right before, went on camera, and it was still a little bit wet. So, okay, so this one, I'm going to stamp up here, and you can see I'm not going in the same direction. Oh, I forgot to stamp that off, but that's okay. going to stamp this one off. It's going to go down here, and you're going to see in a second why it's better to stamp off each of those leaves. So you can get this, a kit to make 2 each of the cards I'm showing today with any order of $35 or more in my online store. And how fun to have fall cards going for giving to your loved ones and friends here in the upcoming catalog. I do too, Donna, and isn't it kind of sneaks up on you because they don't give it a ton of attention in the holiday catalog, but it makes beautiful cards here. So I'm going to stamp that stem full strength right there. I'm going to stamp it again right here, full strength, and up here on this one. And I'm going to wish I'd stamped that off, but oh, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. So then I thought, well, that's a lot of vanilla in the background. So I grabbed my Mossy Meadow Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to pull let me close this ink pad before I get my hand in it. I'm pulling off the brush end, and you can flick onto this. See how that does that? You just flick the brush tip into the cap. I've also seen people use like a bone folder to kind of hit it with, whatever, but it's a nice little look to fill in some of that empty space. Do you guys like that? I think that's fun. I could do that all day long. Okay, so this now is going to get attached right here to this side of my card, and I attached it flat. You could do flat or popped up, whatever you want. And it's going to go right there. Okay? Pretty. All right. Now I'm going to stamp a sentiment on here. And for this one, I'm using the sentiment that says, let me find it. Some things never change. And sometimes we can be happy about that, right? That some things never change. And, you know, we can be happy about the fact that when change happens, we know how to deal with it for sure. Okay, so suddenly I'm finding that I don't have my Mossy Meadow right beside me here, which is making me nervous, but good thing is I can use any of these colors that I just pulled out. I'm going to use Cajun Craze on this one. And some things never change is going to get stamped right inside. Isn't that pretty? Now I'm pulling out some gold ribbon here. And this comes in silver and gold in a duo pack. And I'm going to put some adhesive on the back side here and this is Stampin' Seal Plus is what I'm using. And I'm going to I'm just going to weave it kind of back and forth like this on the background of that label. Cut my ribbon there. So it's a gold and silver trim duo pack. You get gold and silver in it. I'm using the gold on this card. And I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back side of that. Some big ones. We have 2 sizes. We have regular size and we have minis. So talk to me out there. Tell me what you did this last weekend. Thank you, Chelsea. I appreciate you looking that up for me. Silver and gold trim pack, 161633. There we go. So I'm going to put this. You're always so helpful, Chelsea. Thank you. Chelsea's one of my team members, and she's such an encouragement to all of us. Such a positive spirit, always helpful, and I'm so thankful to have her on my Tuttle Up Stamping team. Okay, so now these are gold textured adhesive back dots, 164027, and I'm just going to scatter these onto my card front. And you can add as many or as few as you want. I tend to do 3. Put one right there. And that is beautiful, right? Okay, next I am going to stamp the inside. And I did in this bottom corner the same thing I did with my Cajun Craze on the front. I'm stamping the leaf, stamping off, and then stamping it right into this corner right here. Do you guys forget to stamp off? How many of you guys have made a card and you wanted to stamp off and then you forgot at least on one of the elements on the card? Maybe I'm the only one that makes that mistake, but hopefully not. There we go. There's that leaf in the corner, and then I'm going to pull in my saying that says, "You're simply the best." Some things never change, and it's because you're always simply the best. Very pretty, huh? Okay, so now I'm going to adhere this to the inside, and we will be done with card number 1. I don't know which one of the next two I love the most. You guys, we'll have to take a vote at the end. Okay, so we're going to vote at the end which card we like the most, and you have to vote. You can't go, "I like them all, they're all so beautiful." I'm going to force you to vote this time. You're usually so sweet. Oh, fun, Chelsea, the apple orchard. Which one did you go to? I've been to Jimmy Kimball's apple orchard. I think it's called Kimball's Apple Orchard. And when I lived in Nebraska, and also Vala's, right? Always fun. Okay, so here is my second card. Are you ready? I love this card. This is using this autumn paper and some coordinating colors, right? And then this is the inside of the card. So I'm going to show you how I did that. I took a piece of, this is Cajun Craze cardstock, cut 8.5 Martin's Hillside Orchard and Sorry. Oh, I'd never heard of that one. That's cool. Okay, so this is Cajun Craze, 5.5 by 8.5, scored down the middle at 4 1/4. And then you need 2 3 by 5 1/4 inch panels of the same sheet. So this is really the same sheet. I cut it down the middle at 3 and then cut off the bottom so that they were 5 1/4 inch long. Okay, same sheet of paper, cut it down the middle at 3 inches, cut off 3/4 of an inch off the bottom. Okay, so this panel I'm going to put on the front. Right here. Isn't that pretty? And that other panel that was the other half of this right here is going to go on the inside. So a little something different for the inside this time. It's going to go right here. Awesome. Okay, so maybe I'll go ahead and do the inside real quick for us. This is a 3 1/4 by 4.5 inch crushed curry panel, and this is a 3 by 4 1/4 white panel. Thank you for asking, Chelsea. I talked about it a little bit at the beginning. It was super sweet. There was only about 20 people there, just close friends and family, and and it was in a gazebo in Dublin, Dublin. I wish Dublin, Ireland. It was Dublin, Texas, and I just loved every minute of it. It was just, he's just precious. We got to meet his mom and his dad and his stepmom. And they all flew in from Ireland to see the wedding, and they could not have been more delightful. So I'm inking this up again. I get to talking, see, and then I forget. I just love how European people talk so specific. They have a specific words for things that we just use general words for, right? So at one point I said, "Oh, I think they're going to run by the store." And she was like, "Which store?" And I was like, "Oh, the grocery store." And she goes, "Oh, the supermarket." And I was like, "Yes, the supermarket." So, but I just noticed that several times. Like, I was using a general term and she would use a more specific term for it. And we had a ball. She ended up, his mom ate at our table for dinner, and we just got to know her very well. Born and raised in Dublin, Ireland, her whole life. Had never been in the United States except New York City. So Dublin, Texas is a very small town, but it brought the Irish into the wedding, which was fun for Ronan, the groom. Okay, so now I stamped off that leaf, and now I'm going to stamp the outline in full strength in early espresso, right like that. Okay, then I was a little off, but that's okay. Makes it look kind of abstract. We can say that anyway. And then I'm stamping "I'm thankful" right here in the bottom corner. And again, I'm going to have to put my head in here. I hope I don't impede anybody's view. There we go. "I'm thankful." So this panel is going to go onto this panel right here. Of crushed curry. And then it's all going to be layered up on to the inside of the card. Isn't this fun? Do you guys like this look? I think it's a super fun way to do the inside of a card. So there we go. Okay, so now the card front. Let's start this. I took a piece of early espresso, 3/4, and this is actually longer than 4 1/4, probably more like 5 1/2. But I embossed it with the 10 tile embossing folder. It's a very subtle embossing folder. Let me see if I can have it right here so that I can show it to you. And of course, it's not popping up for me, but we'll find it. Geez, I don't know. That's going to be a problem on the next card, but we'll work it out. Okay, so 3/4 by 4 1/4 is really what you need. So I'm going to take this piece. I'm going to add, remember I told you about trying to put seal on an embossed piece. It makes it kind of hard. There we go. So I'm just going to add some liquid glue to this. I'm going to put it on kind of the center, maybe a slightly below center, and press that onto it. Just adds some fun texture, right? And then I'm going to cut it off on this end right here. There we go. And I have a Greetings of the Season die. This is one of the dies from the Greetings of the Seasons. Remember I showed you that at the beginning of, and I cut it in crushed curry, and I really like the shape of this one. I think it's super fun You're so good, Chelsea. Keep that up. I should hire you to be my backstage manager here. Okay, so this is my label that I'm going to use, and it's going to go right here on my card. And I'm going to take two pieces of linen thread. It's going to bother me that I can't find that embossed folder because I need it for my next card. But maybe I should just focus on what I'm doing right now, right? Okay, so my two pieces of linen thread here. I'm going to feed through the hole on this tag right here. And tie it into a bow. Probably have way more than I need. So if anybody needs linen thread, I noticed it was on low inventory a couple of days ago. I haven't seen if they've taken it off yet. It costs $5 for a spool, and it really does kind of last forever. Okay, so I'm pulling these tight, but then I'm going to pull it so it's just a little shorter. We don't want a big, huge bow on this. And it's so kind of fun that you can make, let's see if I can do it. You can make your little bow loops different sizes. So you can pull one a little bit shorter if you want. And kind of make them so that the one is a little bit bigger than the other one. There we go. Great bow. I'm going to cut the ends off here. And pop it up. There you go, Chelsea. I love that. Keep coming back and helping me with my numbers. Don't you guys think that Chelsea should be my hired video manager? She's so good at doing what she's doing. Okay, so I've got some dimensionals that I'm putting on the back of that label. Oh, I know. You know where my embossed folder is? Inside the envelope with my next card. I put it there so I would know where it was. So there you go. Okay, so far I'm going to put this label right here, right over that embossed little banner across the front there. Okay, so now this is a circle that I've cut from the Stylish Shapes. And it is a 4 1/4 inch diameter circle in basic white, okay? And I'm going to do what I did before, except I'm going to do a full strength crushed curry. So I wanted this one to be a little bit stronger, so don't let me stamp off on this one because I don't want to. I'm kind of in the habit of doing that with these though. There we go. And then I'm going to grab that early espresso ink pad. Here we go. It's still available. Perfect, Chelsea. Still available right now. $5. Is it on low inventory, Chelsea? Okay, so I'm going to just stamp the outline here in early espresso. Beautiful. That couldn't be more perfect, right? And this is going to be popped up right here in the center of that label. Didn't that work out perfectly? Do you guys think I need some flicks of another color on that, or do you think that I'm going to keep it the way it is? I'm not going to muddy it up at all. Okay, so I'm going to add some dimensionals to the back side of this. So I love autumn. We don't really have autumn in Midland, other than it does, you know, it's only going to be 77 degrees today. So that is a good start to autumn for us. We don't have the changing leaves here like we had in Lincoln. Um, but we don't have the blizzards here that we had in Lincoln either. So there's a trade-off, right? So there we go. There's our leaf. And now I've just got a scrap of basic white. It's about 2¼ inches wide. And I'm going to stamp just what I stamped last time. Some things never change in Early Espresso ink. Right at the bottom of this label, of this panel. And here we go. Some things never change. I'm going to grab my little mini paper cutter here. Now, people always ask me, where can I get one of those? This was a joining special offer for joining the team probably a year, maybe 2 years ago now. So we don't sell them anymore, but I saw one similar at Office Depot just a couple weeks ago. So it won't be ours, but it'll be something similar if you need it. Okay, so now this is going to get popped up right here. Now what I want to do is I want it to be flat on the leaf panel, but this is popped up, so I only want to put a dimensional like on the very edge of the top of this right here. So that is a good opportunity to use one of our mini dimensionals right there. And I'm going to use a full dimensional 74 today in Lincoln. Hi, Donna. Yes, cooler temperatures are nice. I agree. I enjoy the cooler temperatures as well. Okay, so some things never change. Slide it a little bit and down a little bit here, and it's going to pop up. That little edge right there is going to pop up right where we want it to, right there. Okay, and then I'm going to sprinkle on some dots, and for this one I use those same gold textured adhesive back dots. I don't know where they're getting the texture. I do not feel texture on these. There's a little bit of texture in the background, but it's very subtle. So don't get these expecting a lot of texture because you will not find it. So I'm putting one right here. I'm putting a middle-sized one up here. And I'm putting a small one down here with my other. So this is card number 2. Do you guys like that one? I love the colors in this one. And Cajun Craze is honestly a color I mostly use in the fall for sure. And then there's the inside of the card. So that is card number 2. Okay. I'm excited for card number 3. I think you're going to love it. I'm using a whole bunch of elements that I haven't used on the other cards, so I think you're going to like it. First of all, we have, thank you, Chelsea, we have these gold leaves, woven golden leaves. Okay, so we're going to use that on our card. These are sparkle gems. Chelsea, you can look up the number for that. They come in clear and black and champagne color. We're going to be using the champagne color today. And then here's that textured tile 3D embossing folder I was talking about on the last card, and we're going to use that today as well. Okay, so I'm going to show you the piece of paper that we're using today from this paper stack. Let me grab it out from you here. I've already cut it and got it all ready to go for our card. This one. Okay, so I'm using this piece of paper from the Splendid Autumn 6x6 paper pack. You can see it's got some purple, it's got some cherry cobbler, it's got that Cajun craze, blackberry bliss, it's got a little garden green in there. So super beautiful piece of designer series paper. But I cut this upper corner right here into 3 3/4 by 3. 3 3/4 by 3. Okay. I'm going to put it on a panel that's cut 3 3/4 by 5. You know what? I bet you would love to see what this card looks like on the finished product. Here's what it's going to look like in the end. Isn't that so pretty? And that texture just pops. It's super pretty. You're going to love it. Okay, so I'm going to take, thank you, Chelsea. I'm going to take the DSP panel of those leaves and I'm going to adhere it right here to the bottom. But before I do that, I'm going to take this side, the right side, I'm going to put it on my grid paper and put a little mark at the 1-inch spot right here. Can you guys see me? There's a ruler down here at the bottom, and I'm just marking 1 inch down right there. I just put a little mark at 1 inch, okay? Then I'm going to pull out my paper cutter, and I'm going to line up that 1 inch mark with the corner of this side, and it's going to create a beautiful diagonal that's going to go like that. Isn't that so pretty? So now when I adhere this to this Blackberry Bliss panel, using liquid glue so that I have a little bit of wiggle room on it here. I'm going to line it up to the very bottom edge of that Blackberry Bliss panel right there. Okay, then I'm going to take my textured 3D embossing folder and I am going to run this panel through this embossing folder all at once with the designer series paper at the bottom. Okay, so let me make sure I've got the right, there we go, sandwich on my die cutting machine. And I think the way this looks when it comes out is just stunning. Look at that. Isn't that so pretty? I love that. The banners are covering. Okay, let's take those banners off here. There we go. Does that help? There you go, Sharon. All right, so I embossed, I put the designer series paper on the bottom, cut it at a diagonal first, adhered it to the Blackberry Bliss cardstock, and now I'm going to adhere this to a piece of gold that is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Okay, 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Might help if I zoom out just a little bit there. Does that help? All right. So this panel is going to go on this, and just that touch of gold is just going to peek out from all the edges. I think that's so pretty. Oh no, Linda, you can't forget about me. You're one of my avid watchers. I need you here. So here we go. I'm putting some liquid glue on that because I want a little wiggle room because it's a really tight fit on this gold. But I just didn't want the gold to just be gold, you know, just that's all that you see. So I wanted a small border of gold all the way around. All right. Now this is going to get popped up on my Blackberry Bliss card base that's 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, and I'm going to actually pop it up on here. Oh, let's let's put some dimensionals on the back side of this. You're welcome, Sharon. Don't ever be afraid out there to tell me I'm not in the window of the camera, because the camera itself sometimes can slide around on its base, and I need to know what you can see and what you can't see. Okay, so here are my dimensionals. I used a lot because gold foil is pretty heavy piece of paper. Want to make sure I get a good adhesion onto my card front. I'm finding a little space right there that could use a little more glue, and then we can add a block or something to the top of this to kind of press it down once I get it on my card front. Here we go. Peeling off all these dimensional backings. I know some people use their take your pick tool, all kinds of tools. I use my fingernails. I'm fancy like that. Okay, so I want to make sure I get this kind of centered here on my card, and then I tell you what I'm going to do, just to hold this down for just a minute. I'm just going to put my clear block, a big clear block, because it's wanting to pucker a little bit here on the edge. So I just want to hold that down. So while that is doing that, let's work on the inside of our card. So for the inside, I have a 4 by 5 1/4 Post-it note on this basic white cardstock. Okay, 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside. And then I have 2 panels that I'm going to put at the bottom. One is the bottom edge of that DSP that I just cut, and I cut it 3/4 by 4. And then I cut a piece of gold because I want to bring that gold to the inside, 1/2 by 4. Okay, 1/2 by 4. So I'm going to add, anytime you're adhering gold, you need something strong. I like to use liquid glue when I'm dealing with gold. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this gold about a 1/2 inch off the bottom edge. Okay, right like that. And then I can cut this excess off right here. Now I'm going to take this DSP and put it flush to the edge, and again you're going to see just a little peak of that gold popping out of the top edge. Isn't that pretty? I love this. This is a very elegant card compared to the last one, right? I think they're all pretty beautiful, but this one with the gold just has an elegant flair to it. Okay, so there is the bottom edge of the inside of my card right there. And okay, looks pretty straight all the way down. Now I'm going to stamp You're Simply the Best. But before I stamp it, I want to make sure I've got the ink from the last time I stamped it off. So I'm going to pull out my chamois here, and I'm pulling in the Blackberry Bliss ink pad. And I'm going to stamp You're Simply the Best right here in this corner. I don't always stamp it in the center. I kind of like it kind of off to the edge like that. Okay, so now this is going to get adhered. Isn't that so pretty? Right there to the inside of my card base. So I'm going to add some liquid glue to all 4 corners here. I hope you guys find a place in my stamping community. I hope you know that I want to be inclusive, and I want to make everyone feel welcome. That is my why, to build a community of stampers that just love to create and belong to one another. So I hope that's what you're finding here. So that's the inside. So now the outside. This is super easy and fun. I stamped, I haven't even finished it yet, Donna. Okay, Chelsea votes 3. Donna votes 3. Let's get her done. Okay, so here's another one of those greetings of the seasons dies. This one's a little more squared off. And I decided to pull out that sentiment from, I need to clean off this block here, from the Autumn Leaves stamp set. This is another one that I just used the sentiment. I'm not using the leaves. And I really liked the saying on this because it says, autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. Change can be beautiful. We moved here to Midland, Texas a year ago, and I was scared and worried about my Stampin' Up! Business, and it's been a beautiful change, and so much good has come of it. I'm glad to be here. Okay, so autumn teaches us that change can be beautiful. And now I'm going to pull out some of these gold leaves. I know, it's so pretty, isn't it? Now, what I found is some of the smaller ones have a little more texture to them. Can you see that here? You can kind of see the texture. And the larger ones have a little less texture, which is okay. So I'm pulling out a small leaf that has texture and a large leaf that doesn't. Now, if you wanted to use more than I'm using, you could do that too. In your kit, I will provide you with 4 leaves. Well, I'll actually provide you with 8 leaves because you will get stuff to make 2 cards. But if you want to add more or make more of these cards, then you need to add the gold, woven golden leaves to your next order, okay? So on the back side of this, I want a leaf here and here, and I want a leaf down here on these corners too, okay? So I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to add some Seal Plus on the back in these corners right here. And I'm going to put the small kind of coming off there, and then the larger one over top of it. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here on this end. And the larger one right here. There we go. And so then when I turn it over, it looks like that, okay? So this is going to get popped up here, but before I do that, I want to add some gold thread into this hole. Gold trim. So September is the end of our Stampin' Up! Year. It's when we need to achieve all of our goals. So I had 2 goals. I had 3 goals actually, to earn the incentive trip this year, which is to Disney World. I got that in July. I wanted to add 7 people to my team, which I did, exactly 7. And I wanted to hit $40,000 in Stampin' Up! Sales, and I'm a little below that. But you know what? I am so happy. If any of you want to buy $2,000 worth of Stampin' Up! Products from me, I'd be happy to sell it to you. But I want you to know I am so thrilled with how God has blessed my life this year. And I need to pull this just a little shorter and down. So it doesn't cover up the words. There we go. So this is going to get popped up right here on my card front with dimensionals. I'm so blessed. I've had such a blessed year. I'm so thankful for all of you out there that watch me and order from me and inspire me and cheer me on. You have no idea how much all of that means to me every single week. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be with you and and have been retired from education and now doing Stampin' Up full time. I couldn't love it anymore. Okay, so there we go. How pretty is that? Do you guys love this one? I love this one too. Let me make sure I got that on straight. Yep, it looks pretty good. Now for this one, I am adding these gold shimmer dots. And let me see where I put them on this card. Okay, so I put 2 up in this corner here. I put 1 on my label right here, smaller one. I put a larger one in this corner of my label and a smaller one floating out here. So that is card number 3. Do you guys love that? Thank you. I love it as well. So I'm going to pull out all 3 of my cards here. My messy grid paper. You know, one of my friends is having a contest of who can keep the messiest grid paper by the end of the month, and I can't do it. I have to clean it. I have to clean it up after every class. So here's card number 3. Here's card number 2. And here is card number 1. So you guys are saying that you like number 3 the best. You guys can vote on other ones, but place a vote and I'll put your names in a hat for more than a card gift. I'll give something else for next week. So let me know what your vote is and which one you like the most. So far, number 3 is winning. But it doesn't have to win, you know, sometimes those late votes can change everything, right? Okay, so I'm going to move to my face here. Thank you all so much for joining me today. I love creating with you. I love having you here. Sharon likes number 2 the best. Great job, Sharon. I love that one too. I love all of them, but I'm just interested to hear which ones you love the best. So, thanks for joining me. I will be back next Monday, which is the last day of September, and that will be our craft along using the Regal Winter Suite. Some of you bought that ahead of time and will be crafting with me, and others of you can watch me craft it right here on my Facebook Live. So God bless. We'll see you guys next Monday. Hopefully I'll be here Thursday with a Tuttle Thursday tip. Sometimes it just depends on how life's going that day. So I'll do my best. So love you. Talk to you all soon. Have a blessed week until I see you again. Bye-bye.